whatever the one is that was on Showtime.
Outcast.
That's it. I've read it. I've read it. So we're gonna do Outcast Volume 1 with Matt, and we're gonna do Invincible Volume 1 with Kyle, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm excited for it. Travis, are you excited for it?
Well, go ahead.
Real quick. I'm glad we don't have to decide on books. It's great.
Real quick before you jump off, finish your thought, what you were talking about, because we're back up live now. So,
hello, live.
Yeah.
This is Josh from Comic Exposure, and I'm on this podcast. I'm really excited about it.
Just finish what your thought about Joker was, so I can slice it together.
My thought about Joker, if I could boil it down to something right now, I love Joker as a character. I don't need to know where he came from. I don't. I want him to be this mystery. And I think if you spend time finding out who he is, that ruins the mystery. That's what I got. That's my last thought for the show before I dump.
Wolverine's kind of in that same vein, right? The same thing. If you put too much origin on Wolverine, it takes away from some of that.
I think you're right. All right, gentlemen.
Perfect.
I'm going to run away.
You run away. We appreciate it.
I love being on the show. It was good times. Matt, are you ready to talk?
I'm always ready to talk.
Kyle, are you ready to talk Invincible?
Yeah.
All right. On the show, Travis and I we do a little show called Comic Exposure. We probably have like 10 listeners a month. And we're excited to have you on. Thank you for having me on, gentlemen. I appreciate it. I love you all. Have a good night.
Later, buddy.
Thanks for joining us. There you go.
So I'm doing Invincible, right?
I don't know at this point.
I didn't catch it. I don't know. Are you guys coming on the show? I don't know.
That's what I've heard like 4 times, but I've been told to read like 6 different books at this point. So
now I have a very clear as day of what I look like when I'm on the show. I now understand.
He's got a very different personality on a Comic Exposure. He's usually the straight arrow.
Oh no, I think he heard the stories of how you come on this show, and he came correct. He came ready to go.
He did.
Because now I know how I look when I drink just a tad too much on the show.
You gotta come ready to roll.
Why was he a little too drunk?
He's rare form.
Yeah.
A lot of shut-ups. A lot of here's the question. I love that guy though.
Are we still going?
Yeah, we crashed, but we're back up now.
Nice. I crashed too. All my internet crashed.
Yep, that's what happened to me. Everything went
Maybe
down.
it was YouTube then.
No, this was Cox. This was straight Cox. Yeah.
In your mouth.
Yep, because I lost everything.
Yeah, don't forget to pay your cable bill because they'll cut off your Cox.
Yep. They'll circumcise you. They'll get circumcised.
But
yeah, real quick before Kyle gets into his do you want to do the story before your misconnection?
No. Let's keep talking. I want the misconnection to be the very last thing I do.
Real quick, do you guys want me to talk about the top 10 list real quick and just go over it? Yeah, okay.
Go for it.
100%.
Do that.
And everybody go check out not while we're live, but later.
Yes.
Check out the Hot 10.
Yeah. Well, actually, you guys won't need to because you guys are getting exact.
We get the rundown, the broken down version of it.
Yeah, you get the rundown version. All right, let's do this. So basically, everybody knows that the craziness this week was the Morbius. Everybody was going crazy for that first Morbius appearance because of the. Obviously the trailer that popped. So let me go ahead and share my screen for you guys. So this week's honorable mention, first honorable mention, there you go, Matt. All right. First honorable mention was we always do a Golden Age book. This was a Golden Age book that sold for quite a bit. So I'm not going to get into it. I'm not big on GoldenAge. This is I love
that cover though on that Golden Age though. I love that style.
Yeah, Golden Age is always fun because there's especially the pre-code crime and pre-code horror stuff because there's just always that really dark, angle to a kid's quote unquote kids book, right? So But yeah, so this was something that was kind of crazy. I don't know why this book got so hot. This is also by the same guy that did Akira, and this was a 3-issue, like not a trade series, but you know how they make them sometimes that they're a little bit thicker than a regular issue. That Dark Horse did back in the day, and this book has been selling anywhere from $60 to $100, and it's the number 3 in a 3-issue series. And 1 and 2, if you have the set, you can sell the set anywhere from like $150 to $200. So it's kind of tripled in price in the last week. We all know this one. This is a fun one. Saved by the Bell show that's coming out has this book going at decent prices. $25 for this book. That used to be a quarter book, but I just love this cover. I love
That's
how
so great.
Look how much darker Kelly Kapowski is than Lisa Turtle.
Right? I was just looking at that.
That's that tan, man.
That's that tan, man. And you notice
tan.
how the only 2 people that have word balloons are the 2 craziest. Lisa Turtle's kind of crazy, but so anyways, that's number 10. We all know.
I like how they couldn't quite crop the white off of Screech's fro, so it's like the Photoshop job on there, or if it's just the light on there.
Hey, it's just the 90s.
Yeah. We talked about this before.
So
the
is
show
it actually
tonight.
this cover?
This is Thor: God of Thunder number 19, and this isn't the first appearance of the God Butcher, but like we talked about earlier in the show, or early before the show, where last week Travis brought up, me and Travis brought up that we'd like to see Christian Bale as the God Butcher, and a lot of people are kind of thinking the same thing. So this is a different character, first appearance, but a lot of people are still kind of, it's the Christian Bale rumor news, that there's a short chance that Christian Bale could play the character that shows up in this issue. But of course, this is the whole God Butcher storyline and everything. So I'd be surprised if you can find this book in dollar bins, but you never know. I think that Thor: God of Thunder run has been picked clean from most dollar bins for a while now.
Yeah. God, the art in that run is so good.
Beautiful. Eastside Ribic, if I remember. Yeah. Eastside Ribic, just gorgeous art, beautiful covers. Jason Aaron is an amazing writer. First appearance. This one's a kind of weird one with the Birds of Prey movie coming out. This is the first appearance of Huntress, but not the Bertinelli Huntress. This is the Wayne. What's her name? The Wayne version of the Huntress, Valerie Wayne or something. I forget her name, but it's not the same Huntress that's in Birds of Prey. But again, this goes back to her being on the cover, it being a first appearance of the character. Why this one is shot up. So if you want the first appearance of the Bertinelli Huntress, I think that was Huntress number 1, not All-Star Comics or DC Superstars presents number 17. So this is an amazing cover by Bruce Timm. Some of the Bruce Timm non-Batman Adventures covers are really hard to find, this being one of them. He did 2 Vampirella covers that are really hard to find. This book's selling for $100 right now. It's gone up, doubled 3 times in price. Usually it sells for anywhere from 30 to 50. Now it's selling for $100 raw. This is a raw book. So if you guys can find this, snag it. This is the Peach Momoko variant of Ghost Spider number 2. Peach Momoko books are hot right now, and this is just a cool layout for a cover. It's kind of got that Chamber of Chills glass, where she's holding the glass, and through the glass you see her real face, and it's kind of a take on that a lot of people are loving. I'm not a big fan of Peach Momoko's covers, but a lot of people are.
Yeah.
New Mutants number 18. Of course, we all know why this is hot. This is the first appearance of Demon Bear. Demon Bear being the antagonist or the big bad in the New Mutants movie that's finally coming out. This is a crazy one. This one just came out. It's a 1 in 50 to Marvel Tales, the new Marvel Tales run they're doing. This is going for 3 times ratio right now. It's $150, $150 book. And that's pretty crazy. But the reason why is pure rarity. How many shops do you know bought 50 or more copies of a reprint book, So just pure rarity. And I don't know about you guys, but the Red Goblin character was just a waste of a character in my opinion. So just a cool cover by In-Hook Lee and Rarity. Number 3 is based off more rumors of Ahsoka. Is that how you say her name? Ahsoka? With the rumors that what's her name wants to play her, the Rosario Dawson has put out a call to arms that she wants to play the grown-up character in Mandalorian episode or season 2. There's words came out that she's basically going to be in Mandalorian season 2. So this book is 100 to 150 raw. The variant of this book is a $900 book in 9.8. So it's just a tough book to come by. And one of the things that we talked about on the show, if you see this character jump from comics and the cartoon show to the large screen, it will be like the real first that a character that was created in the comics or not created in the old school movies has gotten to the big screen. And you will see a huge run on spec in Star Wars book. You will see Afra just go crazy. You will see a lot of the old Sith characters like Darth Revan, Darth Bane, Darth Malak. You'll see those books go crazy. You will see a lot of stuff just blow up because people in the comic community and the spec world have been waiting for some news that some of these characters are going to go to the big screen. And if that happens, not only will this book blow up, there'll be a lot of crazy Star Wars spec. So, Chad, start looking, brother. I'm not sure why this is. I think this has to do with Morbius. This is another Morbius book. It has to do with something to do with Morbius. I'm not sure. It saw a huge jump in price. This went up when the Morbius movie was first announced, but then it kind of dropped back down to dollar bin fodder when we didn't hear anything for a while. But it goes along with this as being the number 1. This is a Silver Age book that kind of was like a second tier, key for a while. And then when the movie kind of announced, it went to a $1,500 9.8, I think. And now 9.8s are probably like $1,000 to $1,300. It has a second print, but don't be fooled. That second print was printed in the 90s, but it also sells well, so you can sell that too. Morbius stuff is hot, and there's a good reason for it. And a lot of people are speccing that this is kind of intro, not only the Sinister Six, but intro Marvel start using some of the horror characters that are in the stable just waiting to be used. So
speaking of Sinister Six, he looks very Mr. Sinister-y right there.
Yes, he does. I this is just not a great cover. I never liked the 6-armed Spider-Man. I think the only thing that made the 6-armed Spider-Man anything cool was the cartoon back in the early 90s, mid 90s. But it also made Morbius cooler to me, other than the hand sucking stuff that was kind of creepy. But yeah, so if you got a copy of 101 like our buddy Chuck, get it graded like he plans on to. That this is actually a book we'll be sending out shortly. So
I want to try out here. There's not a lot of comic book shops per se out here, but I'm hoping I can go to there's a lot of back alleyways in Tokyo. I'm hoping there's a dive where some collector over here has put a bunch of comics out in some, antique shop. There might be a Magua in the background in a cage somewhere,
well, Travis,
whistling to me, but I'm hoping that maybe that it gives me a little extra foot. I'm not a collector in that sense that you guys are. I don't know as much of it, but I'm always hoping to stumble around some weird collection in the middle of Japan somewhere.
Well, I'm going to give you some advice here. I'm going to share my screen again, Matt. I apologize about this, but this book is right up your quote unquote alley. You'll probably find it in some dark alleyway. This is the Japanese version of Playboy. Foreign comics right now, they call them foreign variants, but they're just comics, like Amazing Spider-Man 101 that was put out in Brazil. You know what I mean?
Right.
And foreign comics are blowing up, especially Spider-Man, and that has a lot to do with the Gwen Stacy non-canon stuff that they did down in Brazil.
Mexico,
Mexico and Brazil. They're calling it the Big Booty Gwen books. Basically, what happened
Okay.
is, if you guys want to look into it, you can go do your research. But I suggest Global Comics Safari. It's a podcast where they talk about foreign variants. They get really in depth in this. But one of the crazy things is, in Brazil, they continued on with Gwen Stacy as a character because she was such a big character down there. People didn't want to see her die. So without Marvel knowing, they continued to write stuff for her and do art for her. And they actually made her a much more voluptuous version of Gwen Stacy. So
Much more
just
Brazilian version of Gwen Stacy.
yes, you got it, the Brazilian. But this goes along with this because this copy of Japanese Playboy has a 4-page or a 5-page preview of a Amazing Spider-Man article. You can look it up. The pages are there that ran through Japanese Playboy starting at this issue for like 9 issues. But if you can find this issue in good condition with the centerfold still attached, I mean,
And not sticky.
I took a picture of it. We're good. I mean, I took a picture of it for other reasons, but I also will look for it as well.
Yeah, this is huge money, big money. And people are shelling it out like no other. I mean, people are paying $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 for foreign variants right now. And if you can find really good condition copies of this or other Spider-Man, the other Japanese Playboy Spider-Man stuff, then it's big money. So write down your dark alley.
Yeah, man, you hit that on the head.
Yeah. So very cool.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Top 10, hot 10.
So Todd McFarlane, CGC says, as fast as he's signing him, they're sending him out.
That's a good question. I need to look up the CGC account and see.
Because they said so, which means, and Matt brought up a great point the other day when we were talking
Holy
about
shit.
it.
Hold on a second. Kyle's giving me credit for something. I just want to bask in this for a minute.
Hey,
Well, I think we might be
just like
kicked off
Spider-Man
here
said,
shortly.
everybody gets one.
Just let it marinate.
Yeah.
But like, since they sat there so long, Matt brought up a great point though. Do you think they went through and pre-graded them?
That's a great point.
Prior
not
to, because
I think
they
they
sat
did.
there
Yeah, I think, why wouldn't they?
because they're encapsulating him and shipping him as fast as he's signing them, so they had to have pre-graded him. Which I think if it's on their point and their part and they did that, kudos to them for doing that. But did you see that picture of Todd McFarlane in the room where all of his books are that he's waiting to sign?
Mhm.
It was do you see that?
Yeah.
It was 2 shelves on each side, just nothing but boxes of books. It was like 5 or 6 shelves high, and it looked like the width of a room.
And he wants you to take pictures of what you're getting signed and send them to him too.
It'd be interesting because if they did that, they haven't uploaded the grades because all 3 of our submissions still, 2 of them say received and 1 still says scheduled for grading.
So maybe you guys haven't had your grading done yet.
Yeah. Who knows? They're getting them out quick, that's for sure. We're definitely not getting them that quick.
I bet you that's what they're doing because with how quickly they're going, I bet you they've got stacks. They're just going by box, grading them, getting the labels ready. He signs them, they slap it in the encapsule, and it goes out. So it's just a matter of where your box is that your books are in.
I guarantee our box is like seconds from the last.
Yeah, that's our
Well,
luck.
if you say one of our submissions are waiting for grading, that means it's been signed, right?
2 are saying received, 1 says scheduled for grading. So that's all it says. And of course, when you look up status explanations, scheduled for grading says each collectible has now been described in detail in CGC's computer system and checked against the submitter's descriptions. So it's been graded. Those ones have been graded, but they just haven't put them in. A unique identification number has been assigned to each collectible based on the submission form number and the item number.
So I bet you're seeing that because they're waiting to be signed.
Yeah, submissions are then arranged by service and receive date so that they can be graded on a first in, first out basis by service type. So they haven't been graded yet. So they go to grading quality control next.
So then they probably
It's weird that ours were all shipped together in the same box, but yet 2 of them say one thing and 4 of them say something else.
Exactly. Yeah. There's 3. So what I did is I took, because we each had 2 books, I just printed out, instead of printing out 1 submission form, I printed out 3 submission forms, and that way, you know, that they're separate. That because we did a lot of the same books. I didn't want our books to get mixed up.
So I wonder if maybe they're opening your boxes and then they're putting them in like a file box or something. So it's like maybe there's like 100 and one of your guys is like 99, and then your other books continue on the next box or something.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's valid, very valid.
But if they did that, that's smart that they did that. They were pre.
They had to have.
Well,
If they're already shipping books out and he just started signing, they had to have done it that way. Like that's insane.
Because they were saying hours after he started signing that books were in the mail, which I found it hard to believe, but who knows?
Because they're getting ready to start their con season. Because so you would think like, all right, we got to make sure that this signing goes quick and flawlessly, so it doesn't impact our other business.
Well, I will say this. I definitely think that they had a ton of graders on hand waiting for Todd to get there, and that they were grading stuff. And the reason I say that is because one of the guy who writes the Hot 10, Ben Stein, has basically he sent in a lot of like 15 books to get graded. I think he sent them in the day after Christmas, and they came back to him in 4 days, graded, and they got back to him in 4 days.
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So that tells me that they had a ton of graders on site, and they were just like, Todd couldn't come. He got sick. Let's use this time for something. And they just started grading like crazy their back order, which is smart. That's good. Instead of sending people home, you know, the people are already there. You might as well grade. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but to send a 15 book order in and get it back in like 4 or 5 days is crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I was so hoping when you looked it up just now, they were going to say
the
grade.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've had them for a while. They've had our books for a while now.
Yeah. We sent them the 7th, right? The 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shitty. I knew it was going to be quick.
That's grading. That's our luck on grading. You know, all the Absolute Geek fans know what our luck is on grading. So
I'd be curious to see if Tim's looked his up yet, or if he can, or if he, I don't know if he shipped them in through his account or if he did it through his comic book store.
I think he did. Well, he can tell us if Tim is still doing his fucking job.
Ooh.
Or I mean, if Tim is still in the chat, he can tell us.
I mean, he did come in a little bit ago and asked if it was called Japanese food or just food.
Japanese.
Yeah. Japanese.
There you go, Travis. Now you can go to the bar. Like, are you one of them Japanese girls?
They are very loud when they eat their food. They're very slurpy.
Yeah. Their ramen, especially.
It says still in process.
Japanese.
That's what 4 of our books say, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to start doing here each week is finding one news topic that we think is funny and kind of off the wall that's not comic related to talk about it. And this week we got pretty much hand delivered one with a gentleman who is going through a messy divorce, and instead of the normal tactic of doing lawyers in court, he decided to ask the judge in his divorce settlement for a trial by combat to settle his divorce proceedings, and for his custody battle for his child and with his ex-wife. He wants to do a trial by combat. And he says he doesn't intend or want to hurt his ex-wife, but he just feels that because of the way the men are treated and looked at in custody hearings, that he wanted to be outlandish to get everyone's eyes on this story. So, what do you guys think of doing trial by combat as an option in a court hearing instead of?
I think it's awesome. He wanted to have it as a sword fight.
Yeah.
My first thought is that scene from Cable Guy in the medieval times where they're fighting. He's like, "Come here, so I may brain thee," and he's like, "Ah!"
I think that it's funny that and kind of stupid in the same way of what the thing he said, but the reason he's doing it for, I totally agree. I think that how bad it is when like a father goes to get custody of his kids from his mom, and if the mom's a D-bag, then it's so much harder for the male to get custody, which is wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of single mothers that are raising their kids by themselves out there, and that sucks. And the majority of it is probably called for, but it shouldn't be the norm. That automatically when you go to you're in a custody battle, automatically the mother is like has won no matter what, and that's the majority of the cases. It seems to me, as being an outside person. So how real it is.
I love his comment, what he wrote in his court papers. So he wrote in his court filings, "I now wish to give them the chance to meet me on the field of battle, where I will rend their souls from their bodies." So he even said he doesn't want to hurt his ex-wife, but he's willing to let her have his her lawyer step in and fight him, but he wants a trial by combat. So
that dude definitely has a 120 prot warrior in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, he's like grandmaster status and war.
It would be great if they set it up like he walks up with a glove and he slaps them.
Ceremonial swords are used, and
it would be funny if the judge goes okay and calls out the mountain.
Yeah.
Trial. Yeah. Can you have a proxy? Yeah. It should be like Game of Thrones. Can you have a proxy? She should be able to call in like somebody else too. Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone are fighting tomorrow night. Maybe they can just let's just pick a fighter and make a bet, and then that's who wins the custody.
Yeah.
I think trial by combat is a fantastic idea for court hearings now, though.
Yeah.
Settle simple disputes with trial by combat.
Or any contest, like who can blow the biggest bubble with their gum. I think it should be, because I feel like, I don't know, I've never been through a divorce.
If you make this backcourt shot,
like you point up at me.
I do know that it's ridiculous. So why not have it based on just as ridiculous thing as like who can fart the loudest, or who can make the best mac and cheese. I don't know. It's just all ridiculous.
It's a cook-off.
I totally would have opted.
It's a barbecue cook-off.
It's a cook-off, but be careful with those crock-pots, people. We know that they can lead to death.
If you can beat Bobby Flay in an Iron Chef, you win your court hearing.
Yeah.
Whoever beats Bobby Flay wins. That's it.
But sounds like we're all good for trial by combat. But
that's gotta be something you can do for Phoenix Comic-Con, right? They have what would you do for a Klondike bar? If you guys get some like cool issues of things or graded stuff, it would be like having people like, what would you do for like a sealed Todd McFarlane's, you can't break the bank on it, but it would be fun to get people up there.
That's what we should do for a panel, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. What would you do for
just get a bunch of like rare key issues that aren't terribly overpriced, and have people come up with Nerf swords and do trial by combat.
And then so someone's like, I will do that. If someone comes up there and say, I will do this, someone from the audience can one up them. And so it becomes like a bidding war.
Well, then you can even do like a white elephant, so where they can like one up them to try and steal something somebody else won.
Exactly.
It's all crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, what they should do it is like last man standing, like the original UFC was. So you get 10 people and they sword fight, and whoever's the last person.
A King of the Ring type situation, yeah.
Or you could do trial by combat, but we make the combat like where you pick out of a bag, and one of them's like, something stupid like Connect 4 or something. You know what I mean? Like some stupid combat. And
you have like 4 of them going on at one time, and then you just move from one to one as you see the progress. And with the mic, like, how are we doing over here? You're like, well, I got 3 connected. I don't know how I'm gonna get this 4th one. And cut to next year, the first year panels have to have insurance.
Yeah.
All because we let one rogue podcast come here and do things like trial by combat.
We got a 9-year-old girl with a Klingon sword through her neck at the Absolute Geek panel.
Just see an upset little girl sitting in the front row with an eye patch, just all mad,
holding a brony or something like
all
that.
frowning and shaking her head.
She's just waiting.
Trial by combat would have been a fantastic option for my divorce. I would have totally done it.
If you picked Kyle as your proxy, it'd be Kyle by combat.
There you go. Kyle by combat.
He does not know. He does not know karate. Just a heads up.
It'll be easy to beat.
I challenge you to a Kyle by combat.
If you could outdrink me, then you win.
There we go.
Cue Brandon.
Yeah, right.
You, Brandon.
That's who I want my proxy.
I've actually learned how to saber off fucking bottles of champagne, so I plan on bringing out the saber.
That's my proxy right there because he already knows how to use the saber.
It does sound really badass in that context, though. When you think about it as like a drinking trial by combat and someone comes on, I will saber off some fucking bottles. I'm like, that's my bro. That's my dude over here.
Yeah.
That's real quick, guy. I gotta ask, Matt and Kyle, you guys went over to Brandon's comics last week, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went. He has a lot of comics in there.
That's good. I love that you can walk into a comic shop and go through boxes of comics.
Well, walking into is a little bit of an overstatement. It's so small. His shop is very small.
So when you walk,
okay.
It's a decent. I mean, it's a normal suite.
It's like Greg's. Greg's really small too.
Yeah. Small too.
So right when you walk into Brandon's, he's just got these tables, and it's just lined from like right when you walk in to like 3/4 back is just nothing but boxes of comics.
That's awesome.
Going all the way back, and then on each wall he has like new releases on one wall, and then he's just got all these books all lined on the other wall like eye catchers. And then he's got like these cases that has other like eye catchers in it.
It's
Some things aren't the greatest.
The size of a comic book shop would matter because so many comic shops rely on that D&D crowd, that like card game crowd to come in and kind of get people in there. So there is that's an interesting aspect of it, not having that space to have those gatherings.
Well, he seems purely comics. Like
I like that.
That's
I
it.
think I dig that.
I mean, I think it's cool. I wish we could have stayed there longer. I just wasn't feeling well, and
I was already ready to leave by the time we were done. There was nothing else to see.
I wasn't feeling that well, and I had to go to the concert, so I had to drive all the way back, back to the west side. But I would like to go back one day and dig through his back stock again.
Well, it would be interesting. You know what we should do? One of these when we get a chance is throw on the GoPro and do a Absolute Geek inside local shops. And
we should do Brandon's, and then we should do like Fantastic World Comics.
Yeah, we should just go hit every shop and just throw it up as a quick clip on the site and say, hey, here's Arizona shops for you if you guys want to go check one out. And it's kind of a drive. Here's what they look like.
Should turn you into like the Gordon Ramsay of comic book shops.
Oh,
this shop is bullshit.
I couldn't do it. I have too many years of this.
Yeah.
I become too much of a nice guy. Like when I got fired from my job and they gave me this bullshit speech about why they're firing me, I just kind of sat there for a second and went. It was like a really uncomfortable, like 10, 15 seconds where I just looked at the table, didn't say anything. And in my head, I'm thinking, all right, let's come up with some really good things to tell these guys how to fuck off. And then I went, it just isn't me. Let's do it. Let's get out of here. So,
well, all right, guys, let's finish up. Kyle, let's go ahead and read your misconnections because it's already almost 3 p.m. in Tokyo, so we pretty much killed Travis's entire Saturday. So
it's raining. We're good.
Give this guy a little bit of time to do something today.
Let's see. What should I do? What part of the valley would you like me to read one from?
Oh, Grizzle Geek is there. Grizzle Geek says we have a steady cam. You can use it so you don't have to use a GoPro. I feel like Grizzle Geek has been here the entire time. He just hasn't said anything because he doesn't want to get roped into another competition like he did last week. He's just been quiet because he's like, "Oh shit, Travis is back. What? We've already got and another drunk guy is on the show. What am I getting roped into this week?" But anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Kyle.
Is there a certain part of
Buckeye?
the valley?
Do you have Buckeye? Do you have anything from Buckeye?
Let me see. I've
I
got
feel like there's some fun ones.
Phoenix, East Valley, Scottsdale, Phoenix. Let's see. 35th of Peoria, Mesa,
I feel
Tempe,
like anything from like Apache Junction would be crazy.
Yeah.
Or
Goodyear, 36th
Oh,
Street.
Goodyear would be interesting.
Goodyear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike says, "Yep."
This one's called Patricia. Patricia, we hooked up last year. You're from close to the 101. I'm in Goodyear. We met at Lowe's, had a great time in the parking lot. My schedule keeps us from seeing each other again. I'm retired now. I'd love to reconnect. Hope you see this.
How many people you think actually get their misconnections connected?
Zero.
Nobody. Zero.
And I think half of the time they're made the fuck up too.
Mm-hmm.
I got a handy in the parking lot. I didn't know who you were.
Well, here's the perfect example, Travis. You're an English teacher. It would be a very good thing to say, "Hey, let's use your fiction writing skills to make a
get laid
connection." Yeah,
that would be good. It'd be good excitement. I'd be like, you know, like, don't say her tits were great. Say they were like bodacious. Say they were supple. Say that they were like almost like regal
Heaving.
and royal,
heaving.
heaving. Her bosom. Don't call them her chest. Call her bosom.
Her bosoms were heaving.
So let's see.
That's a good one. Give me another one. Give me another one.
You want another one?
Yeah.
We'll do I'll just go with the first one. Uniformed Man.
What? Wait, what was the title?
Uniformed Man.
Oh, okay.
I used to stop you every time you had a chance. Doesn't even make sense. I would like to come back to see you. Just tell me something that reminds me of you. I don't know if you were married or single, but I know that you occupied a little more attention than I could give you.
That doesn't sound like a misconnection. That sounds like they connected and like she's just like reaching out to someone.
Yeah, it sounds like an odd fantasy. Like,
yeah.
that sounds like you're like trying to tell your buddy's girlfriend that you have a feeling for her or something.
Come on, Kyle. There's got to be something with some heaving bosoms in there. Come on.
They don't let you do those anymore.
You can't heave?
Yeah.
You can't do it with passion, huh?
No, remember the government shut down misconnections for a while.
Yeah, well, that's
go to Craigslist. Go to Craigslist.
That's
Let's
where
see.
it's at.
Craigslist. That's where it's at.
Yeah, well, they set it down because of the prostitution stuff that was going on, and the solicitation of sex, prostitution, same thing.
Here, I'll try this one. This one's kind of long though. Fuck. Beautiful, mature woman at CVS. I made a delivery last Wednesday morning to the CVS on Elliott and Rural in Tempe. You were a customer.
Was
Beautiful
it small
and
dick pills?
sexy? Yeah, it was. It was a big case of small dick pills.
Dick pills.
You had a red
with Burt
blouse
Ward
on
on the front of it, just holding the pills
like this with the fucking
wearing his
small bump.
He's fucking stuffed back into his Robin costume, and he's got the small dick pill bottle.
Goodbye, horses.
Let me see if I can try to find a good one. See if there's a good one on here.
So this episode don't suck. I tuck. TK421 says you should try Bullhead.
Bullhead City.
There's one. Let's see. Where'd it go? There's I saw one that said Bull Shooters.
It's a bar. It sounds like a bar.
Yeah, I remember that bar.
Yeah, it's a pool hall. Oh,
Yeah.
dumb. You were in the green jacket playing pool. We locked eyes. You're a Latina. Very beautiful. If you see this, don't be shy.
And they probably got a message from like every Latina in the valley.
Right. This dude.
You need to be a little more specific than that, buddy.
Yeah. Let's see. See, there's just not good ones like there used to be.
No heaving bosoms, huh?
No. Like, a lot of the gay people and stuff aren't on here anymore talking about blowjobs in the movie theaters and shit.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's our country coming to when we
And
can't
that's-
put a good
Right.
blowjob story online?
That's how you know it's going downhill.
Nah, see, they're not any good.
I thought you had one already prepped and ready to go, Kyle.
Yeah.
No, I just figured it'd be. Okay, here we go.
Sell it.
It's probably not that good. Years back, we met on 51st Avenue in Thunderbird. You were beautiful. I was working at Maxio's at the time, and you moved back into your parents. That's a winner. We ended up sleeping together in the car of the apartments west of the bar. We played pool. You had a dress on one time, and we were all over each other. You came. Oh, different came. You came and saw me at my work, and we went to tailgaters. We really are into each other, but shit happens. I miss you and think about you.
I feel like you should really have this person's number if you spent the night in the car with them and made out with them in a dress. This sounds like we could have avoided this misconnection.
Right? Yeah, they're just not as good as they used to be.
I like Xbox Girl Central Phoenix.
Yeah.
Are you still around? Tell me what makes you unique in question marks. Like there's one where a guy's like talking to a girl at a sauna in the gym. Why would you go to misconnections? Just talk to her the next time you see her in the gym. Jesus Christ.
Right. I like the idea of the co-ed saunas too. Cool, progressive gym.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'll just pick one at random every week and we'll read it and hopefully we get a good one once in a while. I liked them better when it was
Lady short skirt walking. Scottsdale McDowell.
I was just looking at that one.
Yeah. Seen this lady with super short skirt walking with two others. Just wow.
Yeah, man, she had a short skirt on.
Almost
It was real
crashed
short.
looking at you. Hope you had an awesome day. I'm sure lots of other guys almost lost seeing you. You're walking south in Scottsdale and McDowell Road too. Wow. Fucking hell.
Yeah, man. She was sitting out there, man. She had this short skirt on, man. You can see her chair. It was, man.
Yeah.
I miss that girl.
Here, down under.
Oh, God.
Looking for a bud to accompany me on the nature tour. Be it dusty or clean, must like roughness.
There you go.
Fucking people, dude. It's awesome.
I'm glad they finally published my ad. I've been asking them for weeks. I've been following up, man.
It's just crazy. I love these things. Like, who goes, man, we made eye contact. I wonder if they wrote about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty and thin businesswoman on American Airlines flight. Did you see that one, Kyle?
No.
I sat across the aisle from you and Coach on the flight from Philadelphia to Phoenix late Friday night on January 10th. You were thin, attractive, and very friendly. When we were talking, you were busy on your laptop the whole flight, and I didn't work up the nerve to talk to you until we stood up getting ready to exit the airplane. I commented on your luggage, diamond ring, and you said you were living in the Phoenix area, but used to live in PA a long time ago. We seemed to hit it off pretty well, but I assumed you'd already had someone even though you had no wedding ring and band on. You said your husband passed away? ? I didn't ask for your contact information. I'm an idiot and I had a long day. And give you the chance to politely decline. I'm posting this in the slim chance that you might read it. I now regret not closing the deal with you because I really enjoy our brief conversation and want to get to know you better, even if only as friends. I'm sorry for that, but if you're out there, please get in touch. Who the fuck do you really think is going to read these?
Us.
Well, no, I mean, read these and answer them.
Yeah.
Like
here, this one is dead.
Especially apparently a savvy businesswoman who's
right. God, I want
that.
I wonder what happened to that guy on the plane and he probably said something stupid like, "Would you like to go ahead of me?"
Yeah, think of and like he plays out this giant fantasy in his head, but really it was like something just super dumb he said, or you think about all the people you come in contact with every day and all the conversations and in short like talk, conversations you have with people. And do you really think you're gonna be like, oh man, I should have said this, and I'm gonna go to Misconnections and hope they read it? No, you're just gonna go about your day.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, how many people actually go check Misconnections and like places they were?
Like I got my hair cut today, and me and the chick cutting my hair were having a good conversation. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go to fucking Craigslist and be like, I hope you see this. Fuck. People are, I don't know.
Here, desperately seeking Dollar Tree Susan.
There it is.
Oh, great title though. Yeah.
Hi, Susan. We had many great months of physical intimacy together in our vehicles at your place off Little Creek Road.
If you're at her place, why are you in a vehicle?
Right. I, black male, drove pickup truck and worked behind your Dollar Tree store. You, white female, had minivan, and we both drove each other crazy with desire, and we were great together. That's a phone number. 6562-406299. Please get in contact with me.
I love that Kyle has the balls just to read people's phone numbers.
They have the balls to put it on there.
That's true.
You would have put it on there? I'll fucking read it. Here, this one is.
All right, one more.
You said your name was Angela. You gave me a 30-second dance. You were the most beautiful girl in the entire place. Hit me up if you see this and you are up for it.
What do you think the over-under is? She's a stripper at an Alaskan Bush Company or something.
It's somewhere in Mesa. It was like
we call dollar lap dance nights.
So, I don't know. I think they're funny.
They are funny. They are funny.
So, sup, nerds?
All right. Anybody got anything else you want to talk about tonight? Travis, thanks for coming on again, man. Sorry we killed your entire Saturday.
So I'm doing Outcast, and Matt is reading
I just wouldn't do it. I think you're reading Beetle Bailey, and then you're reading Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, it's all over the place. We're all reading.
I always have a good time, man. I thank you guys.
Glad we can have you on again so soon.
Got anything, Brian?
Yeah.
You guys heard it from me. I'm not gonna think of that unless no. Just japper noise.
Well, guys, if you had a good time tonight and you're hanging out in the chat, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to support the show in some way, form, or another, you can go over to our Etsy store and pick up an Absolute Geek shirt like the one Kyle is sporting right now. That's our new Absolute Geek logo shirt. Those shirts look sick and sleek. Beautiful, beautiful. Done by our listener of the show, Jay, and what's it's Gas Lamp shirt?
Gato Negro.
Yeah, something like that. We'll get his link and we'll make sure to shout him out for that. So if you guys want to support the show, definitely pick up a shirt at our Etsy store. Link will be in the description below. Again, I want to thank Travis for coming out and hanging out with us again, and his other buddy and counterpart from Comic Exposure, who I feel like be telling us to shut up right now.
Shut up, man.
Someone wants us to talk Iron Man 2020. I haven't.
Dude,
skimmed it, and
I thought that the cover with the huge gears, it was like the equivalent of pouches to me. Like it was just pointless.
Here,
It was.
I'll show you the cover I picked. I picked up this cover.
Terrible.
But I just the book, like I skimmed the book, that and the end, Venom, the end did not like sit well with me at all. I skimmed them and I literally felt like I wasted my money to this week.
Why? What about Iron Man 2020 felt like that?
Just I feel like the art is crappy, and it's just I don't know.
Who's the artist? Such a good cover artist too that did the Gears cover.
I forget like 14 different covers for this freaking book.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
I just thought the Gears were stupid.
Pete Woods is the artist.
Like it would look so much better without those gears.
But that was what they did back in I think the first Amazing Spider-Man or the first Iron Man 2020 was an Amazing Spider-Man annual number 9 or 10 or something like that.
I just don't like. I just think it's stupid.
It's cheesy, yeah. It's really cheesy. But that's what people love for some reason.
He said they ended Tony Stark at 19.
I agree.
Why didn't 2020 arc just be issue 20 instead of a new number 1? Here's the thing about 2020 is they're doing this whole like mechanized month thing with it. So like it starts with Iron Man 2021 number 1, then goes into number 2, then Machine Man 2020, Force Works 2020, Rescue 2020, Iron Man 2023, Iron H, Mecha Man 2020 number 2. So like it's like all of this whole like 2020 thing. Wolverine number 2. So it's like this whole overarching story that they've got going on with it, and I'll have to dive more into it and actually take the time to sit down and read the book. But like I read the first couple pages and I was like, man, this just is not sitting well, and I just don't know if it was like one of those times I just didn't want to read comics. Like this is just not sitting well, so I put it down. But
yep,
and he said shoulder gears are very Liefeldy. Yes, they are.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of is pouches.
They're the new pouches.
Pouches, yes. They're going to be our new pouches.
But
everybody's going to have gears for the next 5 years.
I'll look up on it and I'll cover more on it next week if you want me to. But I haven't read it yet all the way through yet because like I said, I started to read it and I put it down because I had no interest in it. And I mean, no other good books really came out this week that I would want to turn everyone on to talk about. So that's kind of like what the comic market looks like for this week, but yeah. But again, I want to make sure we get out of here so Travis can go finish up his day. But guys, if this is your first time finding us, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Again, if you want to support the show, make sure to head on over to our Etsy shop and pick up one of our Absolute Geek shirts. We have a couple options there. You can get our Comic Code shirt, the one Kyle's wearing now, and then coming soon will be our No Sir, That Is an Incorrect Statement shirt. You can pick one of those up.
And come on, you guys, subscribe because we're 12 subscribers away from 200. So I can give that goddamn book away.
Exactly. Don't forget about our 200 subscriber giveaway on YouTube. Once we hit 200 subscribers, we're going to give away a slabbed
12 to go.
So, yeah, let's get those 12. Get those 12 people. Let's give away.
Ready
this
to give
book.
this goddamn book out.
I'm subscribed. There
you go. You have a chance to win the book.
I unsubscribed.
Oh, what a dick, Kyle. If you're listening to this on this playback through any of your podcasting apps, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave us a review as it helps us a lot in the podcasting standings. And always, for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast, I am Matt.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Brian.
I'm Travis.
There you go, Travis. You've been here. You're a pro now. You can do the outro.
I didn't know if you were doing that or nerds, dorks, geeks unite.
Oh, no, we're not. We don't do that stuff. No, we don't do that crap. But we'll see you guys next time.
Keep them bagged and boarded.
Even.